Hello there, and welcome to the Gaming Kin podcast. As always, it's Jack, and tonight, instead of having Josh with me, I have a good friend of mine, Marc. Say hello, Marc.
Hello, Marc.
As always. How you doing?
Nervous, how are you?
I'm good. Only need to be nervous if it's a live podcast. It's a pre-recorded one anyway. It's cool. So, hopefully, Marc will be with us a bit more often as of after this week. See how this week goes if he's up for doing it again. But one thing that we never done with me and Josh was a kind of get to know you session, mostly because before we done the podcast we done some live stream gaming anyway. But with Marc being with us for the first time, I've got a kind of question and answers for him, and I'll answer some of them in case we haven't covered any of them in any of our live streams. So first of all, what's your favourite game, Marc?
That was so not in your question sheet. Favourite game? Oh, fuck yeah. Don't pull those kind of questions in the stream, man. Horrible things to do.
I did tell you before we started recording.
You did not say favourite game.
I did. I said favourite and worst game genre and series.
Yeah, I thought you didn't get favourite series. I can do series.
No.
Favourite game?
No, I was 3 separate questions. Well, 6
right.
separate questions.
Right, I'll go with Age Inquisition.
Age Inquisition. That's a damn good game.
It fucking is.
I'm playing through that just now on my PlayStation. I'm really enjoying it. I've just got to the bit after the attack on Haven.
Alright.
So you're in the mountains.
Mm.
I haven't played it for a while since, but
Definitely get back into it.
I'm looking forward to getting back into it because I think things are just about to start picking up and shit's going to go down.
One bit of advice: if you've got DLC, try and leave that as far as possible, because after you do with DLC, you're leveled to hell, and the rest of the game is a piss take.
I don't have any of the DLC.
Get the DLC on.
Normally, I'll do the DLC after I've done the main story, with the exception of Mass Effect Citadel, because that's like the best part of Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3, you let me down.
I thought Mass Effect 3 was a great game despite the ending. The ending was the worst part of the game, but overall the game itself was amazing.
Series.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a punt. I'll tell you my favourite game first, and then I'll go on to the next question. My favourite game is actually Final Fantasy VIII. A lot of people, when they have favourite Final Fantasy, it's generally at the moment 15, 7 or 14. 15 for the newer players, 7 for the proper hardcore FF fans, and 14 for your MMO guys. But I don't know, I just really loved 8. 8 was my favourite.
Nah, where's love for 10?
I love 10.
Was the best.
10 is a very close second.
And Blitzball, come on now.
I would actually see if Square Enix went, we're going to make a game. We done one for Final Fantasy 7, and it was where you get all the Golden Saucer games, and on a disc. I think it was a Japan only release, but they did release one over here, and it was FF7 snowboarding. See if they release something like that for Blitzball.
That'd be amazing.
I would buy it. I'm nothing else.
I don't know if you ever played it, but there was a Harry Potter Quidditch game for PS2 years and years ago.
I had it. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I bought it for my sister, and I ended up playing it more than she did.
If we brought now a sequel, I would get it in a heartbeat. It was one of my favourite games ever, and I don't like sports games, but goddamn,
I like me a wee sports game now and again. Particularly if it's a WWE game or FIFA.
You're one of those types, and you say you hate EA.
Yeah, I don't hate EA. I hate EA's business practices, but to be fair, see the games that they bring out, or the games that their development houses bring out, they're usually pretty good. But it's the fact that everything is down to microtransactions to be, when it's multiplayer stuff, if you don't spend the money, you're not going to win. That's my problem. However, like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, even playing FIFA, because I play FIFA couch co-op or I play career mode, so the microtransactions don't really affect me. I don't play online, so at the same time, while yes, I'm not a fan of EA, if I can play their game single player, then I'm not going to complain as long as they keep bringing them out. Hopefully, Anthem doesn't have too many microtransactions, and if it does, hopefully it's not pay to win, and the microtransactions are cosmetic.
I'm really not sure.
It probably won't be. It's EA, but
Yeah.
like I said, hopefully.
Yeah. You know.
So I'm going to take a punt on your answer at this one, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same as mine, and that's favourite genre. I'm guessing it's probably going to be an RPG.
Oh yes, definitely.
Are you more of a preference towards your kind of action RPGs, your JRPGs with inverted commas around it, because you know the kind of classic turn-based RPG kind of thing, or is it an MMO, or you know what's your favourite subgenre of RPG?
Oh. I was thinking ask these damn questions. Probably action story-based mechanics. Don't get me wrong, I like turn-based, but sometimes it does detract from the overall speed of the story. Because, for instance, what was it? It's a 3DS game, Asian one. It's like swords and daggers kind of thing, magic based.
Is it Final Fantasy?
No, sure, shit. Something like that though.
Dragon Age. No, not Dragon Age. Dragon Quest.
No, it's kind of like the same vein now. It's like a character called Crom in it. If that helps. He's a prince.
No, not off the top of my head.
God damn it.
But
Anyway,
again,
yeah.
I didn't play a lot of 3DS games. The only 3DS game I really played is Pokemon, or DS game in general. Pokemon.
Terrible.
Because I never owned a DS, so when my sister got it, she got quite a few games, and I was like, well, give me Pokemon, because I've played all the Game Boy and Advance games. I might as well play the next game in the series. I kept by the time I'd finished it, I had to give it back, so I couldn't play any of the other games she had for it, which was the thing. Although I did play a wee bit of Animal Crossing on my ex's one for a while. But so a kind of action RPG, kind of like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, basically.
Basically, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm kind of opposite end of the spectrum. I love turn-based. I love because you know there's a timer between when you can move and when your enemies can move and things like that. I love the strategy you have to put into it, because you do get haste and slow and delay attacks and stuff to make things like that, and cooldowns for certain attacks and things. It really does kind of give it a sense of urgency to put your attacks in quickly, but also know what attacks to use and figuring out patterns for your enemies, because sometimes they'll use a certain move and then that'll be followed up by a specific move after that within a certain time limit kind of thing.
Yeah.
The only time that really gets broken is if it's like you've got like the Final Fantasy active time battle system and you have it on wait, where when you're deciding what move to make, all time stops. Like your other characters, their bars won't fill up, the opponents won't attack and things like that. Although the conditional time battling system for 10 I thought was a fantastic way of doing it, where every move was set depending on what move, the order of attack was set depending on what move you used. I thought that was a really cool way of doing it, especially because I found a way to level up really quickly.
Oh gosh, here we go.
It only works for Tidus and Auron, and it's right at the start in Zanarkand when you get the Sin Spawn that spawn constantly. If you attack the ones at the front of you, they will let you move on. But if you just constantly attack the ones behind you, these things won't attack you until they've been attacked. But generally, if you attack and then Tidus attacks and Auron attacks, or vice versa, you generally kill them in 2 hits anyway, so they won't get the chance to attack, because you attack them, their wings will flicker, then the next person attacks, and if they don't die, they'll shoot spines at you.
Yeah.
But if you attack, flicker, attack, they're dead anyway, so they won't actually do you any harm. if you do that for about an hour, it's so boring. But if you do it for an hour, you will then eventually, kill them. Have so many sphere levels that you will actually, if you just wait till you're on Besaid Island, you'll just be able to blast right through it, right through half the sphere grid, so quickly. It's amazing.
You've got way too much time in Hasbro, man. Way too much time.
There's another way to do it. On the SS Leaky to Kilika, right after Besaid, if you just attack the Sin Spawn repeatedly, like I actually done it. I put it on before I went to work. Had a turbo controller and held like rubber banded X, so it just attacked the one in front of me, because the battle won't end until you beat Sin, rather than the Sin Spawn. So you got to fight the thing way off in the distance, which you can only attack with magic or walk as Blitzball. But if you rubber band X, it only attacks the Sin Spawn in front of you. I left it on. I went to work about 10 o'clock in the morning. Got home about 5 at night. Had my dinner, and then went out to the shop to get, a couple of beers and a pack of fags. By the time I got back, so that'd been on. It was about 7 o'clock by the time I'd done all that. By the time I got back onto the game had been running for 9 hours. And then I have a further half hour by the time I beat the boss, because I was severely underpowered at this point. Because I didn't even bother with half the battles, I just went straight for it.
Alright.
The 3 members of the team that I had out were super overpowered for the rest of the up until about the Camlands, they were overpowered. It was so good. Anyway, that was a massive tangent.
Well, that
Yes. So your favourite game series?
Right, that's easier. That's definitely Dragon Age.
Definitely Dragon Age. I would have guessed.
Well, for me, it's simple. It's the storytelling. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, from 1, 2, and 3 is different storytelling methods. Have you played 1, 2, and 3 yet?
I've only played Inquisition.
Only played it. Okay.
I'm going to get Dragon Age Origins in a couple of months. I'm going to play through that once I've completed Inquisition, obviously.
Like, Origins is one of the classic ones. Obviously, you have like more or less mute protagonists, but you choose common options.
Yeah.
And then you basically run a narrative, so straight, like where you go is where the story goes and that kind of thing. Whereas with the second one, you choose narrative options, but your character is also more have a voice in the second one.
Yeah.
But it's all told from the past tense, because it's one of the characters in it talking you through it.
Yeah.
Because it's all been relayed. You find out later on. And then the third one, as you know, it's all happening as is. For me, it's just the idea of having 3 separate protagonists, unrelated, yet it still fits seamlessly into a full narrative over the course of 3 games. I've never seen that happen before. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is an amazing game series. Because while I've not played other than Inquisition, I've seen videos from other ones, and it just looks so fun. It looks like it's a great way of telling the story. It looks like a great story to be told as well. I'm really looking forward to playing the rest of the Dragon Age series. To be fair, I probably should have started with.
Should have, yes.
Probably shouldn't have started with Inquisition though. Well, mine's is going to be obvious. I'm a JRPG fan. Favourite game's Final Fantasy VIII. So it's going to be obvious when I tell you my favourite game series is Fallout.
Couldn't have guessed.
No, Final Fantasy, obviously. I know I just love the games. I love the way they've evolved. As you know, we had this talk a couple of months back. I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy 13. I thought the game was designed, like the game design, like the world design and the character design was great, but character building and the story was crap, in my view.
I didn't mean the story so much, but I felt the gameplay was more clunky.
it was also too linear. Like, I like a linear game, yes. However, 90% of the very first Final Fantasy game was built on going straight.
Yeah.
Down the corridor, and that was it. I mean, other games, they give you kind of side routes to go, do a wee bit of exploring. Like Uncharted, they go in a straight line for about 10 minutes, and then you'd be in a big gun battle inside this big massive fucking ruin where you could explore the ruin as you were in this gunfight. Do you know what I mean? And some puzzle mechanics and things like that. Whereas, like, I actually pretty much just rubber banded the analog stick forward and just pressed X when I needed to, really, for Final Fantasy 13. I got to like I got to just after Bartangelus, like the second major boss of the game, and then went, I'm bored, and didn't even bother picking it back up.
Was that a big armor boss type thing?
Bartangelus?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's the Primarch. You know the guy who's meant to be like helping you to fight the Lassie?
Yeah, I think so.
Who's like, he turns out to be a Lassie and he fights you. He turns into just a giant face with honeycomb around him with more faces in it.
Yeah, and that was more. It was so fucking annoying.
Yeah. After that, I just kind of gave up. I mean, a lot of people go, why do you not like Final Fantasy 13 if you've got a Final Fantasy 13 tattoo? I'm like, because I liked the way things were designed. I just didn't like the game. I mean, I thought the Lassie brand, which I've got, was an amazing looking design. I thought Lightning was a well designed character. I thought Sass looked amazing. Snow looked a bit bland and all that, but it was the character development. I didn't like the way the characters were developed. I didn't like the story. I didn't like the gameplay, but it just, see, all the superficial graphical things just looked amazing. Everything that actually meant anything was balls.
So basically, you're looking forward to the revamped Final Fantasy VII then?
No.
Seriously?
Well, I say no, but I am. But I'm not. I'm skeptical. I've seen so many things about how they're cutting bits from the story and they're changing bits of the story, and I mean, some of it, yes, I understand. Like, during the cross-dressing section where you try to get into Don Cornell's mansion, you can go into the Honeybee Inn to get makeup, and then you end up in a tub with about 30 gay guys. If, like, cutting bits like that, I would not be surprised, right?
Yeah,
it's a different sensibility these days. But I mean, they've not told us what bits of the story they're changing. So that's what worries me. Like, I mean, I think I can speak for just about every gamer who's played FF7. The first time they played it, when Aerith died, we all cried.
That was sad.
You know, now, I doubt that's a part of the story they're going to change. That is a major plot point.
I'd actually be quite pissed off if they changed that to us.
But, I mean, imagine if that was like the main bit that they changed. Aerith didn't die, or the whole scene plays out, and what most of us thought should have happened does happen. Cloud uses a phoenix down. Do you know what I mean? See if they change it so that Aerith comes back.
Oh, no, I never thought that.
I thought of that. Cloud killed Aerith, not Sephiroth. He drowned her.
Why the fuck did he use the Phoenix down? What the hell? You don't get permadeath. Fuck off.
But or reload from the last save point and just tell her to move 2 meters to the side. But no, you know, if that's like the major thing that they change, that would really annoy me, because that's a major plot point that you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I played it on the PC and I downloaded a save modder so I could bring Aerith back. I also had Sephiroth in my party for a while.
What the hell?
it was like my 900th playthrough of it. I was like, I'm bored. Let's just mess about with it for a bit. But see if you have Aerith in your party. Like, there's actually some dialogue for her after she's dead. Like if you have her in your party, do a save mod her.
Well, that's kind of creepy.
So she wasn't actually originally meant to die, apparently. But it made more sense for her to die to progress the story once they'd rewritten parts of it, apparently. Or the way it seems. Anyway, I do imagine that if that they will keep that bit the same. However, they'll probably go, if you give us a $5, we'll let you keep Aerith in your party. We'll find a way to bring her back, but only for a $5. It'll be a microtransaction to bring Aerith back.
I can see it happening. God damn it. Or like an alternate playthrough style or some bullshit.
But there's a rumour going around, which I believe, and that is that all the Final Fantasies are linked in a multiverse. Because you get this thing called the Void in every game. It's not mentioned in every game.
Is it in every game then?
Because it's in every game. Okay.
Fail.
Because I've decided it's in every game. And there's a recurring character who travels through the void to different worlds.
Sid.
No.
Really? He's in every game?
Yes. But it's not the same Sid in every game.
It might be.
However, this is the same character in every game. Slightly redesigned per game.
Oh, Mog?
Nope. Gilgamesh. He's not actually in every game, he's in most of the games though. He's in 8, 15, 14, 13, 11, I think he's in 9, and 6, 5, and I think he's a good in 4.
Huh.
But this rumour was going around, and some folk at Square Enix deal with the Final Fantasy games. They've kind of at times confirmed it and at times denied it. They don't even have they've not even decided yet.
So kept using the same names.
But because of things like Final Fantasy Dissidia, Final Fantasy Record Keeper, Final Fantasy All the Bravest, have a lot of crossovers. Like Theatre Rhythm and Pictologica, because all the spin-off Final Fantasy games generally contain a lot of them. Like I know there was a lot of them in World of Final Fantasy, and you get a lot of the Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts, obviously. Does seem like it's a high possibility of that being the case. So hopefully, if there is a Final Fantasy 16, it will address this.
Between F.
There probably will be a Final Fantasy 16, but at the moment, the main things that they're doing is the Final Fantasy 7 reboot. I'm not calling that a remaster or a remake. It's a reboot because they're changing major plot points apparently.
Apparently, we don't know, but apparently.
And porting FF8 to the PS4. However, instead of doing what they did with 7 and 9, where they just straight up ported it, they're going to recode it and up the graphics.
I thought it was quite good graphics as well for a game.
Yeah, Final Fantasy had the best graphics at the time.
Yeah.
For any Final Fantasy game.
Then I kind of went back down for 9 again. Yeah. Which was odd.
But apparently they're going to, instead of just doing a straight port, they're going to remaster it. So while they're not going to do what they're doing with FF7, where it's going to be full 1080p high def graphics, it is going to be better graphics. Okay. It's going to be a HD remaster like Final Fantasy 10-2 was.
Yeah.
Where you didn't really notice the HD because it was still pretty much the same graphics.
Yeah.
But it was upscaled, so it would still look nicer on a HD telly.
The thing is, like, if you compare like 7 to what it's going to be, obviously it needs a full top to bottom makeover.
Yeah, because they just have blocks for hands.
Yeah.
So here's could be some questions that are definitely going to piss some people off.
Here we go.
What's your worst game? Game that you would avoid playing at all costs?
Right, to clarify, is this like I didn't like the game, or just a game I would straight up avoid playing?
You do not like this game. You would hate it. You would burn it. If it was on fire, you would pee down a well rather than pee on it to put it out.
Your mind goes to some weird places, man. Okay.
I'm surprised you're just bringing this up. You've known me for how long?
Too long.
Exactly.
Okay, probably like wrestling games. They're like padded fighting games. Plus, like, obviously, like, unless you actually watch wrestling, you have no idea who the hell you're playing as.
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh, he looks kind of cool. I like that move. Huh. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the whole wrestling franchise games in general. Just no. And the fact they keep changing the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah. They do that too often.
But yeah, so just to pull them to be wrestling franchise games. Yeah.
I always I never know what to say because, I mean, mine is Final Fantasy 13, like straight up. But I don't like saying it's my least liked game of all time. I always try to find one that I like less, and I rarely do. Like, I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty, just because it feels like a reskin of the last Call of Duty in a different setting, really. Do you know what I mean?
Pretty much why I like wrestling games. Slightly up graphics, different roster. Sometimes they screw up with game mechanics. But effectively it is just the next year on, same game.
Yeah, I find that the same with Call of Duty. But no, mine is definitely the Final Fantasy 13. Which, considering it's from my favourite developer, favourite series, it feels really bad for me to say that, but it's true. I would rather play something else.
Something else.
Although I'm planning to do a stream of all the Final Fantasy games, like a let's play from 1 through to 15, but not playing 11 or 14 because they're online.
Yeah, that's kind of pointless.
So I will be playing 13 2 and Lightning Returns.
You'll never get to 15.
Okay, so
collapse. Like, I can't do it. Does this include the PSP?
Crisis Core.
Yeah. It should, because that was an amazing game.
Well, if I can get a PSP and find a way to stream it, yes.
It should be quite cheap nowadays.
Yeah.
You might even be able to get a port or something, no?
Well, if I can emulate it, I will.
Mm.
However, I will need to buy a PSP
Oh.
and Crisis Core anyway, because to emulate the games, you have to own the console and the game to be able to legally be able to emulate it. It's like, you know, if you burn DVDs to watch, not sell, like pirated copies.
Just to highlight, yes. We're being legal.
You can legally pirate copy a DVD to watch personally if you already own it. Like, I do it with my little brother and sister. If I own something and they want to watch it, I'll often just put it in my computer, burn a new copy of it, and let them watch that copy, so that the copy that I own doesn't get ruined. You have no idea. Like when they're older, I'll probably just give them the actual DVD itself. It's fine, but because they're like really young, they'll just, like, if they're finished watching it, they'll just take it out and just put it on the table, disc side down. Like, if they just put it on the table, if it's disc side up, I'm less moaning about it, because at least that way it's less likely to get scratched, unless like someone decides, oh, it's a coaster. I'm like, fuck you. But until then, you know, I'll give them that. But they've now got their own PS4, and they're learning discs are sensitive.
Yes. Discs are friends.
Discs are our friend for now, until everything becomes digital downloads.
Guys.
But yeah, so that's so I might do it if I can get all that sorted out.
That's gonna take you so long.
So long. Your worst genre?
So maybe something really stupid, but maybe like strategy games maybe.
Strategy games?
I know it makes me sound really, it does not make me sound very intelligent, but I just find them to be sometimes quite boring.
You mean like RTS games, like Command and Conquer and stuff like that?
Yeah. I can't get into it. Like what's that other one?
Dunes?
Oh no, like Civilization?
Aye.
Yeah.
Sid Meier's Civilization, that one.
Yeah, it's like Sims kind of that as well, kind of. No.
Sims is kind of an RTS.
Yeah. I can't get into them. They're just sitting and doing that stuff. No real storyline, just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the
something.
like some of them like they'll have a campaign mode, like StarCraft and Warcraft.
Mm.
They'll have like a very decent story, but most people play them for competitive play online, things like that. So a lot of people won't actually play the story; they'll just play online.
I need the story.
But no, mine definitely has to be an FPS. Like I play GTA with Josh a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm driving around, I'm in first person and I absolutely love it. When I'm shooting, I have to be in third person because I'm so bad with the aiming features on it.
Oh man.
That I actually have to be in third person to use auto aim.
That's lame. That's so lame.
I mean, to have any chance in hell at playing an FPS game, I would need to be playing it on the not on the PlayStation, on the PC with an aimbot. Just like have it turned down to like almost minimum, so it just gives me an assist in getting in the direction. Like, not so it just locks onto the enemy, just so it just sweeps me in that general direction. So that I can.
Oh,
But no, I'm so bad at FPS games, it's unreal. I mean, we used to play one, it was an arena shooter called Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, I don't think I've never heard of Unreal Tournament. Good lord, man.
We played that in college.
Some of the best weapons ever.
Well, I was always like we would have like we'd have a kind of league standing thing. So we'd play it every day for a week over our lunches.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like going, like what we would usually do is go to Morrison's just around the corner, buy our lunches and then eat them on the way back round and then go straight to class. Because by the time we'd been out, smoke, shop, eat, smoke, back up. Because we were on like the 7th floor and we never took the elevators. Because the elevators were always pure crammed. And you were like either in an elevator which says capacity 13 people with about 20 folk, or you were waiting for about an hour for the bloody elevator because we were up in like the 7th or 8th floor, so we just took the stairs. But every couple of weeks we would just go, right, every day this week bring your lunch in with you, and we would sit and play Unreal Tournament. And we'd have a kind of league standing thing, and it was great fun. I always came last. I always got the wooden spoon. It was great fun because we're all in the room. You could hear us pure shouting at each other. Your worst series?
Oof. Yeah, just stick with wrestling games.
Just stick with it. So just sport games in general then?
No, seriously, not even sport games, just wrestling.
Just wrestling.
Like, at least with.
I Series I, so the WWE games. Aye.
Yeah, like if say FIFA, obviously it doesn't really change year by year, but graphically it changes in some, like you get new kicks and that kind of thing. With wrestling, it's just you don't know them. You have no connection.
Yeah. Mine is definitely Call of Duty. Because I just can't. I just can't.
Or you just no, can't. No.
So. Best moment in gaming. So this could be like playing a game, just doing something that like you see people streaming and it's a very rare thing that happens. A hilarious glitch you've seen in one of your own games, or just completing a really hard game. You know, it can be anything. Just the moment that in gaming that just made you want to go, that's why I play games.
While it was bittersweet for me, I think it was when I finished Mass Effect 3. It was just like culmination of like for a total of 120 hours, just non-stop epic gameplay.
Yeah.
Then to get to the ending, as bad as it was, but it was still the end of the series, and I'm like, whoa, what a ride! Damn.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big moment for a lot of gamers. Is getting to the end of the Mass Effect trilogy, because I mean, like depending on what difficulty you play it on, because I mean, you've got narrative mode, where there's more story, less action, and you've like my first playthrough. I've played through the Mass Effect trilogy a couple of times. My first playthrough was in narrative mode. I wanted to get to know the story and all that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a very story driven game, I'll often do multiple playthroughs of it. The first one kind of an easier / narrative mode, so that I get to know the story and the lore and all that, and then I'll play it on like normal or hard.
Yeah.
You know, I'll play it on a higher difficulty where there's less story stuff and more action. Like, because my first playthrough of Mass Effect, I played it on narrative / easy, and then my second one it was hard mode.
Jump from narrative to hard.
Jump from narrative hard.
Good lord.
I'm stuck at the stuck at the suicide mission of the series at the moment. Because I'm trying to do the suicide mission on hard mode, but I have everybody survive.
There is a way to do it, but in hard mode.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like no matter, like, it's still achievement for me, but I only play this kind of games in normal because I want a balance between gameplay and story. I'm not in it to be like, yes, it'd be like a guy in nightmare mode. I'm like, well, no, that's a fucking nightmare for me. I don't like that. No, it ruins it.
Although I think, personally for me, my best moment in gaming, I would definitely have to say it would be finishing A Realm Reborn. Just before you go on to the Heavensward expansion. So when you finish the base game before you start the first expansion, like, because I only started playing it about December of 2016, and then like just before Stormblood dropped, I'd pretty much completed everything from A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, with the exception of the relic weapons, because I knew that by the time I had to do it, there was no point in doing it, because whatever weapons I'd get next would be pointless. And like, I only had a few classes up at 60 at a time.
Yeah.
But the classes that I did have at 60 would have gone swept to the side for Red Mage. Because in Final Fantasy, Red Mage is the best class, because it does melee, attack magic, healing magic. It's just an like, it doesn't get as strong melee attacks as most melee classes. It doesn't get as strong black magic as a black mage, or as strong white magic as a white mage. But as all round, it is just the best class, because this enemy's resistant to magic is fine, I'll just slash him with my rapier. Physical attacks don't work, it's fine, here's some black magic. Somebody's dead, especially if it's a healer, here's a res. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just so fantastic. But the fact is that it took me took me the best part of a year to do it.
Holy hell.
Well, no. It took me from December to May to do it. To do all of Heavensward and A Realm Reborn. But I checked my gameplay time. It took me 35 days in total. Like, total logged in time.
Okay.
And that's including time that I was logged in AFK because I went to the shop or something. So, it was like just under, well, a fair bit under 35 days of online time. And it's, yeah, it was a great feeling for me because I thought, you know, I'm never going to be able to catch up. I mean, I didn't truly catch up because I didn't get to do the relic weapons. I didn't get every class to the cap. Do you know what I mean? But the fact I got the story done, a lot of the extreme trials and stuff done. I couldn't have done it without the help of my guild, or free companies it's called in that, who my sister's a part of.
Alright.
But just the feeling of getting there was just, it was great. It was such a time sink, but I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So that would be mine. So next one. If you could have a top of the range console / PC for free, would you get the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X, the Switch, or a top of the range PC for gaming?
Is this the only thing I'd get, or if I've already got stuff at home that I don't have?
If you've already got stuff at home, you could keep your stuff. Just someone went, there you go. Would you rather them hand you one of them? Basically, this isn't just about graphical power or console superiority over PCs, or PCs being better than consoles. Also taking into account exclusives, so things like Bloodborne for the PS, or Halo for the Xbox, or I don't know if there's any. There's plenty of exclusives for the PC, or like Zelda and Mario for the Nintendo kind of thing. Like taking into account all of that stuff as well, not just performance or any of that.
If you could only ever have just one, it'd be the PlayStation Pro. But if it's taking into account what I've got at home, then it'd be definitely the high performance PC.
That seems like pretty much the way I would go. Although I really, really want a Switch.
Oh my god, some of them do look really cool. I mean, there's like was it Pokken tournament?
Pokken tournament?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
My brother has that for the Wii U. It's so awesome. Much fun. Also, the thing that's putting me off the Switch a wee bit is the fact that one of my favourite games for Nintendo is Smash Bros.
Oh yeah. Oof.
There's no Smash Bros for the Switch yet.
Yet.
However, I have seen. What was the game called? Stardew Valley. I think it was called.
That, yeah.
No, it may not have been Stardew Valley. Hold on. I've got a note of it here on my computer. I'll just load it up. But there's a game. It looks kind of Harvest Moonish.
Alright. Also, the game I was talking about ages ago, I can remember what it was. It was like the swords and daggers and that. It was Fire Emblem.
Oh, Fire Emblem.
Yeah, that was.
Yes, I know Fire Emblem.
I can't remember the question now, but that was the answer for it.
See, because I was about to say Chrono Trigger.
Isn't that a fighting game? No?
I'm pretty sure it's an RPG. I don't know, I've not played Chrono Trigger. So, but I was actually looking at Chrono Trigger X. It looked kind of. Yeah. It's called RE Legend or Re-Legend. It looks kind of reminiscent of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a different game.
Huh.
I seen that and that made me really, really, really want to Switch. But I would definitely go like considering what I've got there now, because I've got my PS4, I don't have the Pro or anything, just standard PS4. I've got my PS3, my Game Boy Advance, my Game Boy Color, and my laptop can handle most games anyway. I would probably get a high-end PC anyway, so it can handle Skyrim mostly. I bought Skyrim on Steam, and I think it peaks at about 10 FPS.
Alright.
So yeah, I would probably. I mean, it plays like Saints Row and Final Fantasy fine. It's just they cannot handle anything by Bethesda apparently. Or Dirt 2, or Grid.
Alright.
I can't remember which it was about. It was one of the racing games by Codemasters.
I mean, the biggest draw for me when it comes to the idea of PCs is just the mods.
Oh, I love them.
It's got to the point where it's like people make a game, like we used to pick them to make a game, but then people are like, "Do you know, I can improve it in that."
Yeah.
And then you just get a whole slew of little improvements, and you put them all together. It's like a completely new game. And you're just staring.
Yeah.
Going,
I mean, I one of the mods I've got on Skyrim is the Final Fantasy weapons pack.
That does look pretty badass. It's like this big Sephiroth sword, yeah.
You can dual wield them.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, whoa! That must look insane. Those swords like 6 feet tall, basically. It's like,
it is amazing. It is amazing. So, what would your FPS wise or TPS, just general shooting games? Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, Gears of War.
Gears of War. Straight up.
Straight up. Why? Because the chainsaw and the guns.
No, just it was like I think it was the closest to like a decent narrative. Halo for me, it always put me at odds with Mass Effect, and I'm pro Mass Effect. So for me, Halo was like, nah. Whereas Gears of War just seems so mental, utterly mental.
I don't know which one I would go for because, as you know, FPS is not my genre. As I did say earlier on, it's my worst genre.
As you said, you get chainsaws. So technically, you don't even need the gun as such a time. Just run up and batter
It's
in.
attached to the gun.
Yeah.
But no, I would probably go. Despite it's the worst one of the series of the genre in my view, I would definitely still go for Call of Duty.
Alright.
Mostly because they have a game set in so many different eras.
Oh yeah.
That they've got the Call of Duty World War II, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, and you've got the Black Ops games and Modern Warfare, which are all set kind of around this current time.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to pretend I was storming the beaches of Normandy, I can play World War II. Or alternatively, I could be really old school and just play Medal of Honor. I would really love to see a resurgence of Medal of Honor because they done the best kind of World War II, World War One shooting games of the time, but because it was owned by EA, they've got Battlefield, and they're not going to put out a competitor to Battlefield.
I was gonna say like,
with the exception of Battlefront, but that's because they have to.
I was gonna say like, for instance, my dad isn't a big gamer at all. Well, that was one of the few games he proper barred into was Medal of Honor.
Yeah, well, my uncle, we would go up to his all the time. We'd go see my uncle and auntie, and when we go up, my auntie would be sitting on her couch, either reading the paper or playing Tetris on the Game Boy. Like, I'm talking about like the kind of days of the Xbox 360, kind of PS3 kind of time. She's still got the brick Game Boy and still playing Tetris on it.
Whatever, you know how to work, you know how to
And
work.
he's playing Medal of Honor. It's always Medal of Honor. He didn't like Call of Duty. Medal of Honor.
You do have different feels still now, you can tell. It's a completely different feel between the games.
Yeah, but no, I mean, because Call of Duty, you've got you kind of older, kind of wartime, current stuff and kind of future stuff. It's got a bit of it, something for every kind of different time. I think that's one of the redeeming factors of it, and it's also the most played kind of online one, because Call of Duty has the World Championships as part of the esports,
Yeah.
whereas Battlefield, Halo, and Gears of War don't. So that would be why, despite it being my worst of the genre, it'd still be the one I'm most likely to play. Just because there's so many different options of time zones and stuff.
Different ways for you to suck.
Yes.
And either suck in the beaches of Normandy or suck in the future.
So, you've got a new game, and would you rather it be single player, you know, a Final Fantasy game, couch co-op, like, you know, like Overcooked, not Overcooked. Overcooked is a couch co-op game, but you probably don't know it. GoldenEye. No, not GoldenEye. That is GoldenEye, isn't it?
That's the James Bond one?
Yes.
Yeah.
The best game to ever come out in the N64.
That's the one you go to for couch co-op, man.
Yeah.
Really? Fucking hell.
That is the best couch co-op game ever.
You're not good at first person shooter, what the hell?
Yeah, I know, I still prefer Mario Kart. Or online, you know, like your modern Call of Duties or World of Warcraft. You know, just, it doesn't matter whether it's a wholly online game or if it's just a game with an online component. But some way online. Which would you prefer the game to be? You can have the option of two if you like. But I mean, most games seem to be going towards online these days.
Nah, for me, it's just me, myself, and I. So I'm playing a game, hours and hours and hours. But then again, mainly that's because I can have my laptop on watching a TV series at the same time. So I can. Oh, cool. But like, if I'm up hours kicking about, and then they have the couch show up, because we just rip the piss at each other.
Yeah.
Like a Diablo 3, that and the couch go up. Oh man, it's so fun.
I've not played Diablo 3 yet.
Oh mate, if you play with someone else, it's just a fight for loot all the time. Like, you need that? No, I don't care. I don't need it. I'm keeping it. I can sell that shit.
Oh, that's like us on Final Fantasy 14. It's like, who needs that? I need that. Okay, that's fine. You can have it. But then, like, see if everybody's got it. Like, who needs this? None of us need it. Okay, then we just all roll for it.
Alright.
And then hope the one that gets it. Like, I mean, we were doing the Sigmascape raid.
Alright.
We did tiers 1, 2 and 4 yesterday, me and a couple of folk that I play Final Fantasy with. And now it's from Tuesday till Monday you can roll on everything and get it. I think it's actually Tuesday at midday until Tuesday 11 past 9 kind of thing. No, 9 past, minute to 12, as long as you finish it by a minute to 12.
Alright.
You get once a week you get an item from it.
Ooh.
And when you get so many of said item, you trade it in for gear. And one of the guys I'm playing with, he was like, right, I need to rerun everything because I got nothing. I'm like, yeah, I got something from everything. So we reran them all anyway, and he still needs to rerun one of them again because he still didn't get it. But yeah, you do often find that happens. We got a guy in one of them. Now he done nothing. Like, he got 7 reports of harassment.
Fucking hell.
Because everybody reported him. Because a reportable offence for which you can get timed bans is not participating in towards the completion of an instance. So, you know, like a boss or a dungeon or anything like that. He used up one, like, it's got a special painting mechanic where if you use paint on a bit of card that's on the floor, something will happen. He used one of the ones that you actually need that takes time to respawn. Every time it spawned, he used it. He died and never got rezzed eventually. And do you know what happened? At the end of it, he got reported. We tried to kick him before we opened the loot, but we couldn't. So he rolled on one of the bits of loot. He got a 99 need, which means he was definitely getting it, and he did recall. He done no DPS, and he just ran around the screen like a fanny.
Charming. See, that's probably the reason why I really hate online games sometimes. Like,
You get because of griefers. Aye.
Well, even now, like, and say Destiny, right? Okay, but admittedly, I was never one of like high-ranking players. I was never like best of the best. I mean, it's like you said, I like to play for story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm quite happy to grind and level up the character, but that's not why I'm mainly here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you go and try and do like raid or whatever, so you get like a 3 or 4, half the time they end up leaving, and you're like, okay, what am I meant to do here? I can't do this myself. But this is like ridiculously difficult to try and get a party, so fuck it, I'll just do it and I hope someone else comes. This is really just stupid.
Like, the problem is though, like, people level kick all the time in games like that. It's the same with GTA and Call of Duty and stuff like that. But what people don't realise is sometimes, you know, I heard about an instance of a guy, he was like, not even first prestige in Call of Duty, and he got kicked, and it turned out it was like the guy that got kicked was actually like a pro player, but he made a new account because he was playing with some friends, so it was for matchmaking purposes.
Alright.
And he was, you know, this new character was really low level because he didn't want to use his pro account to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if this is actually true or if it's just that kind of rumour that was going around for a while, but that was something that I'd heard. But people just go low level, no, get rid of them. Don't want noobs. But I mean, I've recently started playing GTA Online on my PS4. I'm about level 54, no, 58, nearly 60. But I was like I was nearly level 100 on my PS3 when I was playing it, but I couldn't carry the account over.
Alright.
So, you know, I was like a lot higher level, but because I'd only started playing it, you know, maybe about a month or two ago on my PS4, I was getting kicked from a lot of jobs because I was low level, but I knew how to do the jobs.
That's really pish.
But I mean, that some people just see level and go noob. They don't go, maybe he's lost his account, maybe, well, they've lost their account, maybe, or they have, you know, an account for streaming, an account for personal, or, you know, there might be a pro player who has an account for personal, an account for competition kind of thing. So it does get annoying that way, but you know, that's life. But yeah, I agree, I'd definitely prefer a single player game or couch co-op.
Yeah.
Or couch versus if we're playing Tekken.
Ooh.
Which a nice segue into the next question for you. Tekken or Street Fighter?
Tekken, always Tekken. I've never got into Street Fighter. The closest I've ever got was the movie, and that was pretty cool because, you know, Van Damme.
Do you know what? I'm going to expand on this question a bit more.
Oh, here we go.
Right, so pick Tekken over Street Fighter.
Easy.
Tekken or Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur?
Mortal Kombat.
King of Fighters over versus Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
That's about as many as I can think of off the top of my head.
It's legitimately damn near impossible to beat Mortal Kombat. Only one and maybe pick over it would be Injustice. Mainly because, you know, I'm a DC fanatic, so it's fucking epic. But yeah, Mortal Kombat is one of the hard ones to beat. And that and the fact they're the guys who bring in all the horror icons.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing in like Jason and Freddy were just...
They had Leatherface in it at one point as well, didn't they?
It's just beautiful. You're like, wow.
Was that X or XL they started bringing them
I
all
think
in?
it's XL because you've got, shit, how was it? Predator and Alien.
Yeah.
And you're just like sitting and going, seriously, you brought in these
like,
icons. Whoa.
I mean, I've seen Mortal Kombat X being advertised, and then a week later I seen XL being advertised, and I was like, there were like X was still out for pre-order at the time, you know, it hadn't been released.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point in me getting X?
None. Fuck all.
If I can get XL for about 10 or more, and it's got all these extra characters. what's the point in that? So
Exactly.
I was like, right, instead I'm going to get XL. I still haven't even got it. Because, to be fair, I am definitely more of a Tekken or Soul Calibur fan than I am Mortal Kombat.
I just can't get into
I-
Tekken.
Like, my thing with Mortal Kombat, right, is I often forget the combo for the fatalities.
See, that's why they made them downside now?
Yeah,
So there's a button for it?
yeah. I remember before they done that, it was like the last Mortal Kombat out before that.
What, 9?
Yeah. It was actually a microtransaction. Yeah, you.
What?
I think it was like £3 microtransaction, easy fatalities, and it was one button.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably gotten it. Like, I've never been good at full combination.
But no.
Yes.
If my thing is, I don't want the fatalities to be easy.
Oh, I do.
I think if you're going to get the special endings, you have to work for it and learn the
No,
fatality combos.
the working for us taking out the opponent to the point all you have to do is kill him for button. And that's the payoff. So most fights are hard as hell.
But no, actually, there is one I feel that tops it, but it is a different style of game.
Okay.
It's a scrolling beat 'em up rather than, kind of fighting one, and that is Streets of Rage.
Oh shit, was that a really old one? Like in Sega? Oh, I remember playing that one as a kid. That was awesome. It's like you get, was it like a blonde guy in a denim jacket and a skater girl?
Yeah.
Oh, God, wasn't that girl from Knife as well? No?
I think so. I can't. It's been so long since I played it. But
Yeah.
Streets of Rage was amazing.
I remember trying to play that for ages and I kept getting, I think it was like, I can't remember if I did complete it or if I kept getting really close and losing and I was like,
I always lost on the final boss.
it was just so
Always.
random in the game. I was like, what the fuck?
So I'm not going to expand on them anymore, because I think the next one I could expand it to like 9 pages long.
Oh,
So Forza
a racing game.
or Gran Turismo. Because I could expand that to Tolka, the Colin McRae Rally, Dirt, blah 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 blah. But I'm going to keep it as just Forza or Gran Turismo.
Neither. I'm a burnout type of guy.
Burnout.
Racing games has never been my forte, but the best I could do was burnout purely because crashes. Oh, crashes.
I would kind of agree. I did prefer Burnout over the two of them, but because these are like proper racing sims, round tracks and stuff, I would go for Gran Turismo. I'm playing Project Cars just now. Now see if you're in a kart, like a go-kart, it is amazing. See the minute you hit the roads in a car, it just goes sideways all the time. I tried to do a race, a kind of point to point in a Formula car. You hit the accelerator, you know what it is. You're in a race, so you just plan the accelerator. When it says go, you just peel off. Yeah, you get about 20 feet, then you go into the wall. In a Formula car, you don't even touch the side buttons. You just sit like that, and it just goes boom, straight off to the side. But in the car, it just goes straight. Yeah, it's fine. But no, I do prefer kind of burnout games over racing sims. But
It's great for rage release as well. Having our release day, trash some people just fucking right into the side.
actually, the next two games are better for rage release:
Oh, here we go.
GTA or Saints Row.
Saints Row for the sheer insanity. Don't get me wrong, GTA is cool. It's got like obviously better story elements, but good lord, some of the shit Saints Row comes up with. You're sitting there going, seriously.
I think there's a lot of hilarity in Saints Row, and while I do play GTA more than I play Saints Row, I do actually prefer Saints Row. It's just there's no like when I play Saints Row, I'm generally playing it single player, whereas I can play GTA online with friends and stuff, which makes that better for me when playing online. But I love just running around with a dubstep gun.
Oh man.
Like, I've got the Commander in Chief edition,
Alright.
so I've got all the DLC. One of the DLC weapons is a Christmas time dubstep gun.
Fucking hell.
And you can get, it's like, for some weapons you can get a kind of Christmassy overlay. Like you get a weapon called the Rectifier,
Oh lord.
which is an anal probe which puts rockets in them and shoots them. It shoots people. And you can get a kind of barber's pole Christmassy theme one. Although I do have a neon blue glow in the dark penetrator.
I'm sure you do.
That's the massive dildo bat. My one in the game is neon blue. Because hilarity.
Soldiers in real life?
In real life, it's 10 times bigger and it's black.
Naturally.
So, final question before we move on to some minor news. Story versus graphics. Considering the way you've put a lot of stuff, we're probably on the same page here, but just for clarity, do you prefer... Right, let's put it this way. You can have only one thing in a game, right? A great story and shitty graphics, or a shitty story and great graphics. Because you've got some games which do both. Great story and great graphics. Like the single player campaign for GTA 5. It's got really, really nice graphics and it's a great story. But say you could only have one.
Okay, in this case, it varies, right? For my logic, it goes... Naturally, it would go story over graphics. However, if the gameplay's... Sorry, if the graphics are just really bad and the story's really good, I'm much more prefer just to actually read up on it online. Like if it's that poor visually.
Mm-hmm.
However, obviously, if it looks beautiful, but the story is bland and something I could write, then there's something wrong with it. So I'd rather have someone have a really well thought out story, it's really engaging, but they're just not very good at graphics.
Yeah, I'm definitely a story over graphics person. Although see, when you get something, it's an amazing story and really nice graphics, that's just an amazing bonus. Don't get me wrong, I would not turn down a game because it's got better graphics than it does a story.
Yeah.
Because the story could still be pretty good. I played Watch Dogs, and
that's one I've always been defensive of getting.
I did not like it.
Oh.
I found I'm hardly into the story and I'm bored of it already.
Damn.
The graphics, while nice, don't get me wrong, they're pretty nice graphics. They're not as good as the graphics that were promised from the E3 trailer. Right?
Yeah.
And do you know what? That doesn't bother me as much because it's graphics. Graphics are secondary to story.
But if it's poor in both.
But if it was poor in both, I would not touch it with a 10-foot particle.
And what sticks out for me, just in terms of when it's got the whole package, say Arkham City.
I'm not a DC fan, but I have played some of the Arkham series. It looks amazing and the story's pretty damn good.
It's everything you could want.
Yeah.
You're just damn.
Well, it's almost everything you could want. Have that, only, instead of Batman, the Avengers.
And this is one gripe I've always had. For whatever reason, obviously Marvel and DC have competed over things forever.
Yeah.
So in terms of, say, movies, as much as I love DC, they're getting humped.
Yep.
Marvel is destroying them.
The reason for that, right? I know it's not a very gamey thing, but it's still nerdy enough for me to have an input.
Oh, well, this is going to be a big conversation, so get into it.
Is what Marvel did, right? They released Iron Man, Hulk.
Do you know why Iron Man was released first?
No.
Toys. For branding.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You could,
but what they did is they built up characters in part of a universe and then made the team up.
Exactly.
But what Warner Brothers did with the DC movies
rushed it.
They started with Batman versus Superman.
Oh no.
Which had Batman,
They
Superman.
didn't start with that. They started with Man of Steel, which was poor.
I'm not counting. Well,
You have
I'm not.
to. It is the first one.
I'm not counting that because it wasn't.
It
It doesn't exist.
There's so many ways they could have done it, and the worst thing is Cavill is a great actor, and they underused him.
See if they'd started the DC Extended Universe with the Dark Knight series.
And that was the biggest thing they'd scrub with. It was just too soon. They should have started. I think if they started off with Wonder Woman, something we hadn't done before.
Yeah.
Leveled the plane, like instantly you'd be like, okay, we're starting off with a female hero, and that's interesting.
Yeah. Like, I probably won't watch many of the DCU movies.
Oh, I definitely will. I'm just hoping to get better.
But I mean, they've got a Justice League movie coming up.
That's been out.
Purported, no, not coming up. What's the other one? The Flash movie. That's what it is.
That's no. Next one up is Aquaman.
They've got a Flash movie coming up.
Yeah, that's a while away though.
Even longer than people realise, because it was actually already meant to be out.
Really?
They've gone through like 6 directors,
Was like
4 script writers.
See, I already got an issue because I've heard part of the idea for the story.
They've gone
and I'm
through
not-
so much of the kind of background cast, like not cast but crew. They've gone through so much of them, people leaving all the time, that they're actually debating scrapping it.
I can hope we do because I've heard of what the story
thing
we're
is-
going for, and it's not a good story.
See with the Flash and the Arrow, they've got the.
I mean,
They've got the TV shows on the CW.
That is the biggest downside because obviously people looking at that and looking at the movies and going, "What you doing?"
Because I mean, with the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you've got 2 parts of it: the MCU movies and the MCU Netflix.
They
Right.
don't even properly coincide, which is
They do coincide.
No, they don't. No, existence in place, but they don't overlap. That's the difference.
There's very little overlap because
There's references there,
there's references, and like you've also got Agents of Shield.
which do they overlap with Netflix?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, they actually mentioned.
No.
See,
Not as much.
There's difference between existing.
See, everything
and
that happens in the movies and in Agents of Shield, they, while not obviously referenced, there are subtle references.
Really?
They're interconnected. That's the thing that Marvel have been doing really well, is everything that they've been doing is connected.
Yeah, as well. I'll give you that.
While with like between the MCU in the movies and their Netflix universe, it's not as obvious.
Yeah, that's really
It's
not.
all very subtle, because none of it is dialogue.
Yeah.
None of it is in
It's all
dialogue.
background shit.
It's all like newspaper clippings that you see in like the background and
yeah,
stuff.
like a reporter guy's office. It's
Yeah.
like instant and stuff.
Yeah, it's literally things that you would have to stop on that frame
Yeah.
and zoom it in to notice, but it's all there.
Mhm.
So, it is all connected, but not as much as people realise.
Yeah.
But there was originally talks of the whatchamacallit, Infinity War, it being a 2-parter,
I wish it was.
because part 1's coming out this year,
Yeah.
April 18th, not April, March, May 18th this year, and then May 18th next year was meant to be part 2.
I wish it did that one side out.
Well, I don't know how true this was, right? But I'd heard rumours that part 2 was going to then incorporate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix MCU characters
No,
fully in.
they couldn't do that.
They could, but
They
they would have to write it really fucking well.
Like, not even that, and they couldn't just licensing.
No, it's Marvel Studios that does it all anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think it wouldn't work. Because then you'd have to, like, when you separate them again, you're going to expect some form of overlap, or it
Yeah.
wouldn't be.
That's the problem. They would have to write it really well.
Well, the movie is easy enough to do. It's the ramifications of the movie.
Yeah. But because you were meant to get the Inhumans movie, but that's now a TV series.
A bad one.
I've not seen the series yet.
I refuse to say it now. As soon as you hear the idea of them not using any superhero outfits, I'm like, no.
The Defenders So that's your Netflix. The Defenders was actually originally panned to be a movie, but they decided to make it the series instead.
It was alright. There's some elements.
It was going to be a Netflix exclusive movie, but they ended up making it a series instead, which wasn't as popular as the individual characters.
Well, all in all, Iron Fist let the thing down. That was a pure casting. They could not do karate for shit.
It's not just that that's the problem. It's the chemistry between Iron Fist and Luke Cage in the comics. It wasn't portrayed the same on the screen. Like, I've not seen it, so I don't know. But that is what I've been told. See, I would watch it. I don't have Netflix anymore.
You got Amazon but not Netflix?
Yes.
Good.
Well, I order stuff off of Amazon, so you know I'm getting the stuff delivered. So I get Prime Delivery. I also get Prime Video and Kindle Unlimited and the music and all that. I literally only use Prime Video and the delivery. I've got my Kindle, but it's filled with books anyway, so I don't actually need the Kindle stuff on it.
Anyway, back to the rivalry I was getting into before we got joyfully sidetracked. Like, obviously movies, DC's get humped for various reasons. Then you get like animated TV shows / movies.
They're doing about equal there.
Oh hell no! DC is destroying Marvel.
Although I've noticed that DC are definitely doing better than Marvel in the comics at the moment, with the exception of movie tie-in comics. Although Marvel are doing Star Wars comics at the moment.
Yeah, that's cheap.
But that's because of Disney.
Yeah. But then also the biggest thing that's always confused me, and we're surprised there are, is games. Like, there's not many Marvel games.
Not really, because you've got Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which is quite a few years old.
Those two games are amazing.
You had the Amazing Spider-Man on PS3, which uses pretty much the same control scheme as the Arkham games. I know because I've played Arkham and I've played the Amazing Spider-Man game, but it just it just feels more polished with the Arkham games. I don't know, but however, that's all about to change. Marvel will soon be kicking DC in the nuts when it comes to games.
Oh please, go on then.
Square Enix is making the next Marvel game.
What's the title?
Avengers Reassemble.
Right, and that's what I've been waiting for. I'm not gonna lie. If we get a decent looking.
Well, we don't know if it's going to be. But that's.
Don't say it, then take it away.
Well, that's what Square Enix has copyrighted, so that's looking like what it's going to be. It's not set in stone. They've not announced it, but that they have copyrighted Reassemble. So, well, when it comes to video games, they've copyrighted Reassemble. So that's what it's looking to be, but they've not confirmed it yet. But that's what it's looking to be.
I mean, it's like weird in terms of like Marvel. They've done tons of like movie tie-in games, and then like they went to Lego games.
Well, Square Enix have said that while all the story is going to be rooted in the comics, all the lore and all the canon, it's going to be a completely original story.
Well, the original stuff is background stuff.
Everything that is important is going to be canon. Anything that's unimportant is negligible. And it's going to have major moments from the comics, so it's going to tie up a lot of things, and I think it sounds amazing.
If we did it properly, and then I'd play the hell out of it. The only issues I've had would be like, I'm assuming you mean they're gonna use like original Avengers cast, like a movie cast.
It's looking to be it's going to be the movie cast, but I do not know for sure. I mean, because I'd like it to be an RPG.
Yeah.
Because that is what Square Enix does best. So I'm hoping for an RPG. Some people were saying it's looking to be a rail shooter, like kind of Gears of War.
How can you do that for Avengers?
Right, easy
Really?
for most of them.
Go on then. How do 4?
Lightning from his hammer.
Really? That
Captain America, you've got the shield, and he also uses a gun at times.
no.
Mostly shield. He does in the first Avenger.
In the first Avenger,
Shh. Point
he
is,
doesn't use guns after that. He's too moralistic.
not the point.
That's why he uses a shield. It's defense. Just it hurts.
Black Widow uses guns.
Oh,
Hawkeye's
yeah.
got the bow. Iron Man's got repulsor rays. Hulk can make supersonic waves from his claps. The only person, I think the only people that I'd really struggle to see in a rail shooter would be the Black Panther.
Oh, he's got daggers and shit.
Not in the movie, he doesn't.
I've not seen that yet. But canonically, he throws daggers and shit. It's fucking annoying.
I mean, it was in Civil War, he didn't use them.
Yeah, just because it's not in the movie doesn't mean it's not in there.
Who else? Ant-Man.
Ants.
Yeah, you just fire ants. But I mean, Vision's got his head
Beam thing.
beam, and the Scarlet Witch can psionic projectiles.
You know her power's not psionics, yeah?
Psychic.
Matter manipulation? What if you get psychic shit, man? That's X-Men type shit, man. Jean Grey.
Well, Scarlet Witch was originally an X-Men character.
Yeah, but she was never psychic.
Anyway, but yeah,
I think that's our idea.
I do think it should be
RPG.
an RPG. Just like the number of Avengers that they are, and it's still growing movie-wise because you've got Doctor Strange as well, who I didn't mention there.
Actually, set to decrease, by the way.
Hmm?
A lot of them are getting to the end of their contracts. They're going to end up getting written out and replaced by our next versions. Still not too sure, like, for Cap, is he going to be Bucky or Falcon?
Well, I had this conversation with someone the other day, and it's more than likely going to be Bucky.
I'd say if you're going to go canonically, it needs to be Bucky first. But, way like the social, political climate's going, I think it might be Falcon.
The thing is, though, Anthony Mackie has 5 movies left in his contract,
Ooh.
and Sebastian Stan has 8.
Seriously?
Signed a 10-movie contract just before Civil War.
Whoa.
He's been what, in 2 since Civil War?
He's going to be in a while. Damn. 10 movies.
10 movie contract. And I think that was just before Civil War. He was in Civil War.
Well, he's a good part of Civil War.
And
Even though Civil War was a bit annoying at times.
like, it doesn't matter whether he's in the main movie, the ending sequence, or one of the.
Does that count as a movie?
That counts as part of his movie contracts, or in like one of the stingers, that play midway through the credits.
Huh.
They also count.
I did not know that counted. Does that mean Chris Evans bit in The Dark World counted? Seriously, I didn't know that. Because me and Marc kept arguing about it because I didn't think it did.
He was in the movie.
Yeah, but damn it.
Well, they can make it not count as a movie. Generally it would count, but they can go fine when it doesn't count towards how many I do, because it's such a short thing. Because generally they would probably take about 5 minutes on set with them, and that would be it. Do you know what I mean?
Especially in Dark World, there's just him having a little banner and going off.
Yeah. So while it might not count, it could count. So we'll see. But yeah.
To be fair, man, like if Stan has got 10 movies left in his run.
Well, he's gotten either 8 or 9.
8 or 9. I actually think that means it's more likely to be Falcon then. Get him his movies done. He'll maybe be like a kind of rival to him. Then eventually he'll take over.
But as far as I'm aware, the people with the most movies left on their contracts are Ruffalo and Stan.
How much has a Ruffalo got?
I think he's got 6.
Nice.
I
really do want to do another
but
Hulk film.
What they're not doing a new Hulk film. But
Straight up,
what
we're
they're
not
going to
doing
do, straight up,
Damn.
what they have said though, is the Hulk's parts over the next phase after Infinity War.
Mm.
If you just take the Hulk's parts, or any parts relating to the Hulk where he's not in it, that will make up his movie, essentially. You could make a movie out of it. To be fair, I think because the Hulk movies haven't really gone well lately, because he's had, 4 reboots in the last decade?
4?
Maybe. Well,
No,
up until...
Well, it was
up
Eric
until
Bana, and that was poor because it just that was horrible.
That was 2006. Then there was 2008 Hulk, which was part of the MCU. And
I loved that. I thought it was recent.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was the one with Edward Norton.
Yeah, and he had the stretchy purple pants, but I thought it was extra.
And Eric Bana, he was Ang Lee's Hulk.
Yeah. That was a bad movie. It was a bad screenplay. I don't get it.
Aye. And then you had one in 2002.
Was it?
Yeah.
Who did that?
I can't remember. But I'm sure you had one like 2002.
I didn't realise that.
But no, Hulk, like the best grossing Hulk movie was actually from like the 80s, and it was Hulk and Thor.
Oh, I've seen the stills from that.
And that was Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, he was in Norton's one. Yeah.
And it was Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and someone else as Thor.
Some random dude with long yellow hair.
But yeah. So yeah, Hulk's not been particularly great in standalone movies. He's been, I thought, like the best Hulk moments were in the MCU when he's been part of the team.
You're gonna see that when he like destroys Loki, yeah, and Thor later on, and Loki's like, "Purely God." I loved in Ragnarok when Loki he does.
I've not seen Ragnarok yet.
Oh come on!
I've seen Black Panther, but I've not seen Ragnarok.
Like, have you? You weirdo.
But I was going to go to the cinema to see Ragnarok.
You've got Amazon Prime. What's your excuse?
It's not on Amazon Prime yet.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. There's 2 versions. I don't know the difference. So there's one.
Is it on Prime Video?
Yeah. It's a theatrical cut.
It's getting watched tonight.
But then there's additional stuff. I mean, we're looking at it's like it's an additional 40 minutes. But I'm like, I don't want to get it if it's just going to be like commentary. I'm like, no. But if it's proper theatrical stuff, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll be watching that later.
Thing is, like, have you read any of the comics?
I have a box of the comics I've read, but I've not read a lot of them lately because I haven't been getting them in. Because I usually go into town and buy them, and I haven't been in town for a while.
Like, the main issue I have with Ragnarok, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing film, you will enjoy it, you will actually laugh a lot, surprisingly. The main issue is it's a mashup.
Yeah.
It's a mashup of World War Hulk and Ragnarok.
Well,
and it just takes a lot away from World War Hulk, and it's annoying.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, from Ragnarok on, like every character has their own wee story arc.
Yeah.
Within the MCU, and that'll cross over through various movies, especially with like the Hulk, who isn't getting another standalone movie, but it's going to be, have his story arc played out through various ones, like Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Yeah.
So they're actually going to be doing, I'm not sure which one, it's either Planet Hulk or World War Hulk. They're going to play out the storyline from them in the current
It needs to be World
phase.
War Hulk, because Planet Hulk involves him being on a different planet.
Well, yeah.
But you can't send him to space twice, that's bullshit. It's like, yes, we don't like you. Fuck off.
But obviously they are also going to have to change it slightly because he got sent away by the Avengers rather than going into self-exile in the comics.
Well, that's what he was self-exile.
Because at the end of Age of Ultron, he went into exile.
Well, that's
by his own choice.
Well, it wasn't explicit. Haven't you seen Ragnarok? Because I didn't get that from Age of Ultron.
Well, they didn't tell him to leave, and he decided to do it on his own.
Well, no, it's never explained what happens in Age of Ultron. It's only explained afterwards in Ragnarok.
Well, I've not seen Ragnarok yet anyway, so...
Well, you sort of read into that way too much more than anyone else. For me, it was like a big reveal. I was like, whoa, okay then.
I figured it out, because, I mean, if they were going to send him away, it would have been a big plot point at the end of Age of Ultron. So if he goes into self-exile, that will be why they didn't show him having an argument with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure why he went into self-exile, but I'm kind of guessing it's got something to do with Black Widow.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably find out when I watch Ragnarok later.
You seriously need to watch it.
No, I'll probably end up watching it tonight or tomorrow.
I mean, what gets me with Hulk is, even if you criminally misuse the character, there's still a massive world around him.
Yeah.
Like, I would desperately want there to be a She-Hulk brought in. I think a She-Hulk would be amazing.
I think they're going to be bringing in She-Hulk.
Oh,
I also think they might be bringing in Red Hulk soon.
See, this is why I think you just make it. If we're gonna be part of the MCU proper, which he is, give him a proper movie, get an entire world going.
See, I think if they, I'd be skeptical about it, but at the same time, they've now found the actor that can do it.
Oh yeah,
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, he's in it now.
I think, see if Mark Ruffalo did it, I think it would be amazing. The thing is, like, Edward Norton, he just wasn't great. I've seen him in other movies, and he's a good actor. But see, doing Banner, doing Bruce Banner, I didn't feel it. I mean, I would normally be, right on board the Hulk hype train, because he's my favourite Marvel character.
Really?
Yes.
That is odd.
I mean, despite the fact the only Marvel character I've got as a poster in my room is Deadpool.
However, you do have Hulk and Thor.
I've got the Marvel Superheroes collection, which is Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, and two lots underneath that I've also got original Spider-Man.
It's been original. We've got 1990s, sure?
1980s.
Oh my god, right.
70s.
Fucking hell.
It was when the cartoons first started coming out. That's also what the Marvel Superheroes ones are as well. I'll show you some of the cartoons on the disc through the PlayStation when we finish this. They're really good. Especially the theme song for Captain America.
Oh god, ruin it for me.
But yes. Anyway, should we probably get on to the news?
Yeah, let's go on to the news.
Because usually the podcast only lasts about an hour. We're into an hour and a half, and we've not even done the news yet.
We're just to finish. DC forever. Marvel couldn't bite it.
Oh.
Anyway, on to the news.
On to the news. So, I've forgotten what the news is already. Actually, I remember some of it. Most of it revolves around, believe it or not, EA.
Dun dun dun.
Dun 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 dun. It's easy to hate on EA, but damn it, their in-house studios put out good games. It's just their nickel and diming microtransactions out the arse practice at the moment is doing my fucking nothing.
I mean, if I'm going to pay 50 quid for a game, I want the whole damn game.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay an extra fucking 20 quid for the deluxe super edition.
Yes. I mean, well, actually, it's not so much that's the problem. It was like Star Wars Battlefront, the original one. Not the original one, but the first reboot by DICE was, it came out 50 quid, right? Or $60 for US. Considering that's, like, even British YouTubers and all that seem to use dollars, but...
Embrace your Britishness, these pounds.
Right, so it's 50 quid for the game.
Thank you.
And then the season pass came out, right? So you can get the Battlefront, the first reboot, on PlayStation Network at the moment for about £24.
Alright.
Right? To get the DLC pass, the season pass, it still costs 50 quid.
Yeah, fuck.
It's more than double the price of the game now.
Nah.
It's the fact that there was no story, half of the stuff was cut and then released for the same price as the game as a season pass. I mean, it's so annoying, right? But anyway, as we know, since just before development of that game, EA got a 10-year contract with Disney to be the exclusive producer of Star Wars games. Now, a lot of people seen that and went, well, at least we know we're going to get some decent quality games, considering some of their in-house development studios, such as BioWare, who done Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and the MMO Star Wars The Old Republic. And these were made by BioWare before EA kind of killed them. BioWare's dead, man. I'm sad to say it, but under EA, BioWare's dead.
Take it back. Dragon Age and Mass Effect, they're still loving it. Well, Mass Effect maybe not, but Dragon Age is loving it strong.
I'll take it back if Anthem is not pay to win.
Oh, it so will be. Yes, will be.
If Anthem's pay to win, then BioWare's definitely just a shell of itself on life support.
Yeah.
It's in a vegetative state at the moment. Okay. I mean, they're not even doing, like what people want from BioWare just now, a remaster of the original series, of the original trilogy of Mass Effect, right? They're not doing it. They've said no, straight down, no. So, I don't want BioWare to go down, but it's going that way. But with all the backlash that there's been around Visceral Games shutting down because of their linear game, which I don't know why I put that in inverted commas there, because it was going to be a linear game, Project Ragtag, and it looked amazing. But they've only made 2 games, and they were like, when they got the license off of Disney, it was the idea that EA pushes out games. I mean, they wouldn't exactly have given it to Rockstar, because Rockstar have made 1 game in the last 4 years, being GTA. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're developing Red Dead 2 just now. They've been developing Red Dead 2 for a wee while now. It's only been, released, that it's been in development recently, but only 1 game's come out in the last 4 years. But EA can push out games with their many development houses, such as BioWare, Respawn, blah 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 blah. Respawn have a game coming out which should be pretty decent, but we're not getting a Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic from BioWare. We're not getting a third one or a remaster of 1 and 2. It's just DICE have made two games, and that's it. So Disney have been considering taking the license off of them.
They should.
And giving it to Activision or Ubisoft. Now, I don't think it should go to Ubisoft, because they're pretty much just as bad as EA. It's just they make the games they make generally don't sell as well, so people don't really notice. Because I mean, The Division was a flop.
Hey, I like that game.
I liked that game, and I hated it at the same time. Like I played it, and then the way the story went, it kind of took you in a certain direction to start with, and then you pass by a bit, and it says it gives you a mission to do there, and then I went to do the mission. It was like, no, you need to have whatever DLC pack, and I was like, then what's the point in posting it there for me, except to just make me pay for it? I mean, if I wanted to pay for it, I would have bought it. And I'm not big on Ubisoft either, mostly because Assassin's Creed is shite.
Ambivalent to your way, so whatever.
Actually, I liked one Assassin's Creed game, and that was Black Flag.
Everyone likes Black Flag.
Everybody loves Black Flag.
Don't ask me if people love pirates.
Actually, to be fair, the main reason I liked I only ever, sailed around in ships in Black Flag, I got my brother to play the first part of the game for me until I could sail around in ships.
What?
I'm not good at Assassin's Creed. Let's put it that way.
Fucking hell.
But no, Activision, they're kind of. I'm not really sure what's happening with Activision at the moment. I mean, it's mostly just Destiny and a Call of Duty game every 3 years, as far as I'm aware, from Activision.
Yeah, but they make tons and tons and tons of money.
Yeah, I mean, other games come out of Activision, but they're kind of like a publisher and developer, so like they're publishing other games, but really they've only made Destiny,
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 and Call of Duty recently, as far as I'm aware. I mean, they've published tons and tons of games, but I don't think they've really developed anything. But no, I could be wrong. I don't pay too much attention to Activision, because generally most of their games are kind of FPS games and not my kind of style, as we all know. Yeah, so that's something that could be in the works. Mostly because of the microtransaction practices under EA and the fact they've failed to push out more than 2 games in 5 years. Despite the fact that I'm pretty sure Disney were expecting, probably by now, a shooter, an RPG, kind of space combat sim, and some sort of action game like The Force Unleashed. Do you know what I mean?
Force Unleashed was epic.
I did enjoy Force Unleashed, I must admit. But there was so many different genres of games they could have covered with all their in-house development teams, that they could have made so many amazing games, especially the linear game Project Ragtag from Visceral, and the fact that they already had a well-known and loved IP from BioWare, which was Knights of the Old Republic, that they could have just made a mint by just doing them.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't, and now they could be getting it taken away from them. But more on specifically BioWare.
Whoop whoop.
Is a lot of devs are unhappy there due to visit from journalists, but one in particular, one Arnita Sarkeesian, the social justice warrior. Don't get me wrong, she gets a lot of hate, and sure, some of it's pretty well deserved, some of it not so much, most of it's pretty deserved, because she always has something to say. And everyone should have their own opinion, but like the amount of times I've heard of something that she said, and there seems to be no basis to it. I mean, maybe it's just her interpretation of it, and everyone's getting it wrong, or maybe she's literally just out there to wind everybody up. I'm not sure, but devs there were unhappy with her visiting particularly. So
Also, weird thing, like now social political climate nowadays, people are starting to feel like everything needs to be in a certain way for it to be fair. But what people need to realise is not everything in the world's going to be fair. Things that matter, like laws and such, yeah, that should be fair, that should be equal. Games are like books.
yeah,
There's books you play. You do not need to make everyone feel involved. Some people will never feel involved. Okay, method that's bad again. Put it. Not everyone's going to be happy in a game. Not everyone's going to be referenced. Sometimes it just doesn't work narratively. Sometimes it does, fine, but things can't go the way you want them to just because you want them to. It doesn't work. It doesn't flow.
That's it. I'm just going to refill my cup.
Booze time.
But no, it's something I'm going to keep my eye on over the next wee while, because I'm curious as to how this affects development of Anthem, a game that I want to do well, but I'm aware that due to current practices within EA could have some issues.
Might just be our destiny.
Yeah. A game that goes great at launch and then just kind of dies really quickly. But last bit of EA news is something that will actually keep Marc pretty happy.
Oh, here we go.
Did you ever play Burnout Paradise?
Oh, yes, I did.
EA are bringing out a HD remaster this year.
Oh.
And it looks good.
Oh, that sounds good.
It does.
That's what the world needs, more destruction.
Okay, I think it'll have all the DLC included from the original game, so you could get the DeLorean.
Oh, yeah.
And all the toy cars and things like that you got in the original game. I don't know if it does or not. It looks to be so, but then again, it's EA.
Yeah, I might have to pay like £2 for every little bit.
So hopefully it'll have everything, but we don't know. I mean, it's a HD remaster, so if there's any DLC, it should have it.
Logically, you'd think, yeah.
That's logical, but then again, it's EA. Money is more important than fans' happiness.
True.
So, I'll probably get that when it comes out.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I'm happy to see another Burnout game coming. I've been waiting, because the last game they brought out was the original Paradise, if I remember correctly, for Burnout.
Was it? What was like Paradise City?
No, it's just called Burnout Paradise.
Was it?
Yeah, but the main theme was Paradise City by Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out next month.
Ooh, close.
Next month, memory serves. So it'll be worth looking forward to.
Definitely, very definitely.
But I think that's all I've got for news. Hopefully we'll be back soon. Hopefully Marc will join us again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Keep the buzz flowing.
Keep the booze flowing and Marc will come back. Right, you heard it, guys. Send me money on PayPal and we'll buy Marc more booze. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully we'll be back soon with some more gaming news, and we'll maybe have some themes to our podcasts before we do the news. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Bye bye.